Welcome, everybody, to podcast number 283. Are you scaling communication the way you need to? Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to talk specifically about scaling your meeting system. And so I would really like to jump right into this topic today. In the integrated production control system, which I realize I talk about quite a bit, step number one, have intentional pre-construction efforts. Step number two, buy out lean behaviors and lean systems in contracts. Step number three, make sure that you have all of the key pieces of the last planner system. Step number four, prefabricate literally as much as you possibly can. Step number five, win over the workforce. And then we'll just go fast from here. Build the project management team. Orient people remarkably well on the project site. Design remarkable interaction spaces. Create self-sustaining logistics systems. And use the meeting system to scale communication. That's what we're doing right now. Once you have all these steps, you need to use the meeting system on your project site to scale communication. Remember that it takes 7 times to repeat something before somebody takes you seriously. Once you do that, you stabilize procurement and deliveries. You have and implement and run the project with an effective quality program. You implement a daily issue correction system, have a remarkable roadblock removal system, implement zero tolerance, create contractors, start to implement a foreman standard work for production control at the location, and then have a foreman continuous education program. And so that's the system. Those are the steps. And right now we're talking about procurement, or not procurement, but the scaling of information. Sorry. Procurement was the last one. And so this is really key to what we're doing, and I'll explain that to you today. But like I said, I hope you're doing well. One thought that I had as I was beginning this podcast is that we're just beginning to understand lean. Lean is this wonderful world. It's not just about eliminating waste and improving. It's not just about respect for people. It is an entire world of really remarkable concepts that increase production that are quite frankly fun to learn and fun to implement. And once we start to learn to see, it just gets really beautiful from there. So if you haven't started or you are starting your lean journey, I would say keep going, taking massive action and doing massive learning, because it's a wonderful journey. So let's get started through the front side of this podcast, and we'll get right into it. So at Elevate Construction, we provide project recovery, training, and boot camps. We've got a lot of requests for boot camps, and recently we're executing on those, and we get better and better and better at those all the time. I'm out in Wisconsin right now doing a consulting trip. We do construction consulting and organizational health consulting. That's what I'm doing this week. I love that. It's challenging, but it's so worth the time. And so my challenge to you is, if you have a question or a thought for me, please send it my way. If you want to attend a boot camp, please let me know. We've almost got the next superintendent boot camp full. We've got 12 participants locked and ready to go. And we also have people signed up for the second round of the first boot camp that we did. So let's talk about some feedback here. The Super Boot Camp was an amazing experience that will not only give you skills to be a better superintendent, but more importantly, it gives you the skills to be a better person. I thought that was a really nice endorsement for a superintendent boot camp. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Like I said, these podcasts about the integrated production control system are somewhat shorter. You've heard some of these concepts before, but I'm weaving it all together. We should be very, very close by the end of the week concluding this, and I've got some great podcasts queued up for us after that. Whew. I'll tell you what, I got too much sleep last night. I've got a couple of yawns in there. So here's the conflict. You're not scaling your meeting systems like you could. And so I want to say that when it comes down to talking about the meeting system, every time I talk about this concept, somebody says, well, I don't like meetings, or that's a lot of meetings, or, that's a big commitment. And I tell everyone every single time that the blank space between the meetings you get back. If you start to have a really, really good team meeting, if you start to have a really good planning meeting, if you start to have a really good weekly work planning meeting, or what I call the trade partner weekly tactical, an afternoon foreman huddle, and a morning worker huddle, you will start to get back that blank space and really gain back your time to go do production work wherever it is on the site. You'll gain back the time to go do continuous improvement. You'll gain back the time to go work on your career. And it happens every single time. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Use the meeting system to scale communication. The team weekly tactical, the strategic planning and procurement meeting, the trade partner weekly tactical, the afternoon foreman huddle, the morning worker huddle, and the crew preparation huddles. Those are key to scaling information all the way to the workers. It matters little how well first planners can plan unless last planners weigh in. And here's the important part. Workers understand the plan as fully as possible. And so I've got the meeting system, and this is on the website, on the elevateconstructionist.com website. There's a lean signage graphic here with information for you. And so it goes in this order: team weekly tactical, the strategic planning and procurement meeting, trade partner weekly tactical, afternoon foreman huddle or foreman daily huddle, worker daily huddle, crew preparation huddle, and then the daily team huddle where you remove roadblocks. And so I've talked about this, but it's a continual cycle of planning the next day with the foreman, huddling with the workers to communicate what's going on, and then removing roadblocks with the team, and then going again to the foreman daily huddle. So let's talk about this. For the team weekly tactical, that your superintendents should be there, your field engineers, your project engineers, your office engineers, your project managers, anybody on the team. And that team reviews the current workload coverage for the week, and everyone's individual outstanding or open items are reviewed, and that happens weekly. When you get into the strategic planning and procurement meeting, that includes the supers, the project manager, the project engineer. It can include the field engineer, but most of the time it's the supers, PMs, and PEs. This is where long-term planning takes place. The master schedule is updated and work is made ready per the look-ahead schedule. In the trade partner weekly tactical, you have the supers, the project engineers, the field engineers, and the foreman, the trade foreman, and your own self-performed foreman. The purpose of this meeting is to completely plan the next week ahead 100% with the weekly work plan. The foreman daily huddle, your supers, project engineers, field engineers, and your trade and self-performed foreman are in this meeting. The purpose of this meeting is to completely plan the next day ahead onto your day plan, and to really identify and remove roadblocks so you can execute the work. The worker daily huddle in the morning. That's your supers, your workers, your foremen for self-perform, and for your trades, your field engineers, everybody in the field. Everyone is brought together into one big social group, and the day's plan is communicated to the workers. So that's where you're communicating the day plan to the workers and everybody on site. The crew preparation huddle. That's between just the foreman and the workers. Workers and foremen huddle up to plan their work, prepare and fill out their pre-test plans as a group. And they usually do things like 5S'ing their area, eliminating the 8 waste. They do training. Like I said, they end up with a quality and a safety pre-test plan. And now they're ready, hopefully also with a production plan like we've talked about before, to go do their work in a remarkable way. And so that meeting then leads into the team daily huddle. That's where you have the supers, FEs, PMs, and project engineers, office engineers, if you have that role. Team members huddle to review company operating metrics, roadblocks, and milestones, and they fanatically remove roadblocks for the field to create flow in the field. And so that's really the meeting system. Back in the day, from a scheduling standpoint, there was the master schedule done in CPM, a 3-week look ahead, and then the supers would have to run around fighting fires and telling everybody one-on-one what to do. Last Planner says, have a CPM master schedule, do phase planning to milestones, have a 6-week make-ready look ahead to align procurement to make sure that we are bringing things out right when we need to, then create a weekly work plan that has 100% commitments from all of the last planners, the foreman, and then huddle daily in a foreman huddle to execute the work. The problem with that system is that only 50% of the information still gets to the worker, but I do love the last planner system. I feel that the right scheduling system per the integrated production control system is to have a tact plan from there, and that is created basically from phase pulls from pull plans to create the tact trains within the system, to use that same schedule for the 6-week make ready look ahead to align procurement, information, and manpower, and then to go into this meeting cycle where on a weekly basis we make sure that weekly work plan, everything out to 2 Fridays from now, is planned out well, and that either on the tact plan or within a micro schedule you actually detail out that weekly work plan. Now here's where it gets interesting. Having an afternoon foreman huddle to plan the next day on a day plan, and then the worker huddle in the morning to scale that communication to the workers, and a crew preparation huddle to get your crew headed in the right direction. If you do that, you're scaling communication all the way to the end of the row, and you can get your percentages of worker understanding up to around 75% versus the 50% and then the 5% on the original system. So again, tact that is built from pull plans, from phase pulls, the 6-week make ready look ahead right on the tact plan, the weekly work plan right on the tact plan, the afternoon foreman huddle where you create the day plan and that's your focus, and your weekly work plan that is created on a continual basis that allows you to create that day plan on a daily basis, and then the worker huddle in the morning and the crew preparation huddle. It's interesting when you look at a job site, and I'll close this down really quickly because this has been most of what I wanted to talk about. When you look at a last planner project and you look at their huddles, what are you mostly talking about in the foreman huddles? Most of the time, you're simply just talking about where you should be, and you're talking about what each person should be doing. And I would say that's an inferior way to look at your daily huddles. The daily huddles should get to a point where everybody is talking about making work ready. What are the in-betweens? What's slowing us down? What is going to reduce the throughput time? What is going to reduce overproduction? What is going to reduce the starts and stops? Just like Nicholas Modig talks about in his book, This is Lean. When your huddles are talking about roadblock removal, when your huddles are talking about how to create throughput, when your huddles are talking about how to make work ready, instead of, hey, just this is where I'm going to be, hey, this is where I am on the project site. Everyone should already know that. And in tax planning, you visualize time and space, and you should be able to immediately know where everybody should be, and when they should have it done, so that in your huddles you can focus on making work ready. And that's really the next step. And so we need to get to the point, and we will, where this meeting system is remarkable and they're being used to make work ready and to remove roadblocks. Our current condition really is that we don't usually have projects that have remarkable meeting systems, and we need to get to that point. So my challenge is this. On a successful project, there will always be a planning meeting. There will always be a trade partner weekly tactical. The foreman daily huddle, worker daily huddle, and that trade partner weekly tactical, for a project to be successful, you will have 2 out of those 3. But I would prefer that you have all of them. Every successful job will have a crew preparation huddle. Every successful job will have a team daily huddle because they're aligning where they're headed for that day and they're removing roadblocks. Every successful job will have a team weekly tactical. The other key one that I need to mention here is the procurement meeting with the superintendent. We talked about that last week. And so this is the way, this is the system. And so my challenge to you would be to find a meeting system. Go onto the website, elevateconstructionist.com, and look up under the field resources, the lean signage, and make yourself your own meeting system and start to really work that well. And read the book Death by Meeting so that you know how to run remarkable meetings, in a remarkable way. And get this meeting system to where your blank space is really all production time and you don't have to run around fighting fires. You can implement your leader standard work, and your leader standard work will bring 80% of your return. And once you get good at it, you'll be able to whittle down your normal work into a certain amount of hours so that you can also focus on continuous improvement and focus on your career. I mean, it really is a wonderful thing when you can start to work that system. And if you have that blank space outside of your meetings and your meetings are going well and they are focused and they do have conflict and they don't have what we call meeting stew and they're all over the place, and they do properly scale communication with visual systems and active data, not passive data, active data that's on the wall that everyone can see, not passive data hidden in a computer or a software program. Once that happens, that's when stability starts to happen. That's when you start to have a culture. And as Eric Thomas always says, if you let people treat you any kind of way, if you let people do whatever they want to do on site without any accountability, that's going to become a culture. And your culture is going to eat your strategy every time. And so there's a really neat quote. Let's see if I can remember. So amateurs focus on tactics, armchair generals focus on strategy, and the real experts focus on logistics. With tact planning and with these systems, you're visualizing time and space. And when everybody on your project site, and I'll close it out with this, when everybody on your project site can increase the percentage of their understanding, visualizing the plan for that project on a macro and a micro level, visualizing time and space, that's when things are going to get remarkable. You have to scale your meeting systems. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.